Well, we are back at the mini pike again, and that is a mini pike. Here he is. This is a new experimental bait I'm trying. It's a sun perch. It's a sun perch swim minnow that I got from my local tackle store. Whoop! These are so hard to hold on to. All right, I got him. He engulfed it. He engulfed it. Let's unhook him and let him go. Just like that. Oh, easy little fish. There he is. Ah, mini killer. Back you go. Grow up and get some bigger. There's a little rig I was using. Kind of like the Kitech, although this is a little bit more durable than the Kitech. I told you before that the Kitech baits, they rip, especially with the pike. I mean, pike, little pickerel and pike that size have razor sharp teeth. The smaller their teeth are, the sharper they are. This is a swim minnow from my local store, Wacky Worm. They custom make these baits. And you can see it's a little swim bait, little paddle tail on it. And this is a sun perch color, which is like a light bottom, and then a green pumpkin with a black metal flake, and it's got a little bit of glitter flake in it today, but it's not too shiny today because it's no sunshine. It's really dull. But I've had 2 or 3 fish follow it already, and that's the first little one I caught. I'm fishing in the canal today, so if you get a pound size fish out of this canal, that's a big one. There's not too many pickerel in here that are, you know, over 2. There's probably a couple that are 2 pounds. 3 pounds would be really rare, but we're gonna continue on and give it a go. I'm hoping that you can see I know there's a little bit of a glare on the water, but I'm hoping that you can see the submergent vegetation here, right below where my finger is there. And there's a big bed of it. There's a big, like a mat of it on the bottom of the water. That is a good place to fish, because a lot of times if there's no standing reeds, a lot of people, you know, will fish reed beds and stuff for pike and perch too. Sometimes when there's no reed beds, you get like coontail or cabbage like this that grows on the bottom. The fish will lay down in that, and they will wait for bait to pass over the top of it and then come up out of it and grab it. So you can see this goes on here for quite a while, and it's a muddy bottom here, silty bottom. So every now and again you get patches of weed like this. Also, especially on canals, if you have weed growth on the edge here like this little bush here, that is an ambush point. If you get enough water underneath that, you can see just on the opposite side of it right there, there's like a little tuft of grass. That is also an ambush point. So sometimes on canals, which are obviously straight edge because they're man-made, if you fish along the edge, before you walk down there, cast down and then retrieve the lure back this way, because once you've walked down there, the fish will feel you coming and they'll move. That's why a lot of times if I'm fishing on, you can see there's a footpath here. If I'm fishing canals, I'll always cast the opposite bank, because the opposite bank is a lot of times where there's no foot traffic. As you can see, there's no foot traffic on that side because it's all woods. This is the canal path where the mules used to draw the barges and stuff up and down it. So when there's people walking up and down here, the fish will move from this side to that side where there's no disturbance. So if you want to fish this side, always pre-cast up before you walk down there, just in case there's a fish laying in the margins here under the bush. You won't spook them off that way. Little pike just chased that bait. He almost had it right at the bank. Just took it away from him. I'm also trying a bone whopper plopper today. It's a white one. This is not a bone, it's a pearl white. It's iridescent color. But I use a lot of white topwater baits, and I tend to get a lot of hits on them. So I also have one of these in natural color. I had it in another video. It was a perch color, a bluegill perch color. This is just pure white. I've had 2 fish hit at it already. They haven't hooked up because they were small fish, and this is a pretty large bait. But it certainly attracts attention. And we'll continue on. Well, once again, we have scored on the mini pike. Ooh, no, easy. No. No, come on, hold still. Oh, he loved my little sun perch lure. Yummy. He's beautiful. He's actually a little paler than a lot of the fish in here are pretty dark, but I'm holding on to him. I don't want him to injure himself. There he is. He's getting a little calmer now. He got it, nice. All right, let's unhook him and let him go. Easy. Easy. Come on. Perfect. No fish on the whopper plopper. I had 2 fish hit the whopper plopper. Did not eat it. They were smaller fish and they just came up and whacked it. But no hookups yet. It's a little, it's real dark today. There's a big storm front. This is like the middle of a storm front. We've had a lot of rain over the past 3 or 4 days. A lot of rain. The canal is up 2 foot. River's up 2 foot. It's muddy. It's cloudy. The water's not real clear. And pike hunt a lot by sight. So they need to be able to see the bait or feel the bait in the water. Of course, the lateral line, they'll feel vibration in the water. So anything that puts off a little vibration or brighter baits are good to use when it's when the water is cloudy. You know, like a fire tiger or a chartreuse, something neon, something that's pretty bright that they can see a little better in the murky water. But I'm glad to get a few fish today. It's pretty not ideal conditions for bite. I just came out to test the bait, so far they've been doing pretty good. Yeah, another mini pike. Oh, easy. All right, we're gonna let you go. There he is. Again, he engulfed that little minnow. What an awesome fish. Perfect. Perfect predator. It's just like a shark. He hasn't changed in millions of years. He's exactly the same as he was. Let's unhook him quick. There, right in the snout. Oh, oh, oh. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Almost got my finger there. Here he is. With that black stripe on his eye. Alright, let's let him go. Nice. Off to fight another day. Well, this little sun perch has been a successful test. So I'll twist it up now. A little swim minnow. These are really good baits. I have it rigged on. Again, this is a custom jig head again from the Wacky Worm, one of my local tackle shops. This is a 3/16 ounce ball head jig, and it's got a wide gap hook on it, if you can see that. Got a funky angle on that hook. And once they get hooked, it tends to stay. It's not a regular, like a Shaughnessy round bend hook. It seems to work pretty good. He also gave me some miniature swim bait, extra wide gap hooks with a screw lock on the front. I haven't tried those yet, but they look like they'll work pretty good with these too. The exposed hook like this, it gives you a little, it definitely improves your hookup ratio. If you use the covered hook, like if you Texas rig this with the swim bait hook, and it has a keel weight on the bottom of it, the smaller fish like that, if you're fishing for smaller fish like that, on a big fish it won't matter because he's going to crush it. He's going to pound it and crush it. On a smaller fish or medium-sized fish, you have to set the hook to get that the hook to come through the plastic. Now, if you Texas rig it where the hook is on the back side of the bait, and then you just barely nip the end of it in the plastic to make it weedless. If you're fishing in really thick weed, you don't have to have a real hard hook set. On a fish like that, on the small pike and perch like that, their mouth is very fragile and it can rip very easy. So you don't need to freaking wail into them. You don't need to do that. That started with bass fishing when they were using plastic worms where they had the hook embedded in the worm, and you had to set the hook, especially if it was a long way away with mono. You had to give it a pretty hard hook set because a bass has a very hard mouth. A pike has a very hard mouth, but the side of his mouth is pretty fragile and it will tear very easily. Especially if you're using braid, where braid has no stretch at all. I mean, that line can be 50 yards from me, and when I strike it, it's immediately hitting the fish. So you got to be careful. You don't want to, be ripping their face up and stuff like that. You don't want to do that. Care of the fish is number one. Yeah. Mini pike. There he is, the chain pickerel. And back he goes. Cut him on the little Kitech swim bait. He followed it in. He followed it in, and he actually took it when I stopped it. I stopped it and it dropped. And as soon as it hit the bottom, he came right in behind it, grabbed it, took it straight away. Yeah, another mini pike. These guys are tough to hold on to. There he is. This is why they call them chain pickerels, because the marking on their side looks like a chain link fence. That's the last thing a lot of minnows ever seen right there. Alright, back he goes. Mini piking. Can't beat it. Yeah, in 5 years he'll be worth catching. Perfect predator. It's just like a shark. He hasn't changed in a million years. Because he doesn't need to. This little fish here sitting in the shallows, you can see the bars on him and stuff. He's only about, I'm gonna say he's about 8 inches long. He's just waiting for little minnows. Alright, here's a little better pike. Oh, it's a pickerel, it's a chain pickerel again. That's a decent sized one. I took him on a bigger pike out of the river here. It's a pretty decent one. Well pleased with that. Let's see if I get him in the shot. Alright, let's let him go. There he is. Whoa, he wasn't waiting around. Love it. I'll show you what I caught that nice river pickerel on. Using a Daiwa D-Force medium light rod. I got 10-pound braid. I got a 15-pound tieable wire trace, and I was using a Kitech, the swim bait. This is in a green pumpkin clear metal flake. It's a bigger version basically. This is a 3.8 inch. The other one I was using was a 2.8 inch. The action on these baits is fantastic. That pickerel engulfed this bait. He came up right up behind it. What I had did was I had fan casted from a rock out point on the river. The river you can see right here behind me. I had fan casted, so I started casting upstream back towards me, went to midstream back towards me, and then cast downstream and retrieved the bait back upstream. And when I did that, he came right up underneath it and inhaled it. You can see the one disadvantage with these baits for toothed critters, they do bite right through them. They're very soft, so they have you can see how flexible it is. They're very flexible. They work really well, but they do get wrecked. Now I could repair that. I could probably glue that with fishing glue or super glue, glue it back together and use it again, and you get more use out of it. But be aware that they do tear. You can see here too, I have it mounted on a swim bait hook. It's got a screw lock in the front here that the bait screws onto, and then it's got a keel weight on the bottom, so it keeps the bait upright, and then it paddles away in the water. But these do have a very lifelike swimming action. Very lifelike indeed. Another bait I used today, after I ran out of Kitech minnows, I had switched to, I also used these. This is a Berkeley ripple shad. I have it mounted on a 1/4 ounce Z-Man mushroom head, jig head. You get a good look at that. This bait was actually originally white, where you see the chartreuse. And what I did was I put it in a bag of Fire Tiger ripple shads, and the Fire Tiger one is chartreuse. It looks like a perch color, and it actually dyed being in the bag. It dyed the bait chartreuse, and I've got a lot of hits on that today, so it was a happy accident. Now I've actually put some more baits in the bag, so it'll dye it chartreuse. So that worked pretty well. This is also a Daiwa rod. This is a medium action rod. It's a little stiffer than the other one. And this one I have just regular monofilament. It's real light monofilament and smoke. But it was worked out today. Caught pike all day long, little pickerel all day long. Caught a decent one out of the river. I'm going to give a shout out to my buddy Paul in Yorkshire, the river piker. He wanted me to mail him some pickerel, so I'm going to mail him these over in an email. That's about as good as I can do for him. Check his channel out. He's a river piker. If you look up river piker, you'll find his channel. It's an excellent channel. Catches big pike, perch, trout, chub. He fishes on the canals and the rivers in Yorkshire and England. He has a great channel. Lots of good information on there. And thanks for watching. The things you do to get fishing lures back. Ridiculous. There it is, stuck on the post.